Hello, we are here playing on the Gauntlet. We are playing Heart. This is the second session of 3 sessions, and there is the Lighthausfrau who is burning everything, which seems very exciting. I'm Kieran Gillen, pronouns he, him, and I'll be running the game. Does everyone to, starting with Sabine, shall we go around and say on who we're playing and our characters?
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm playing Arcos Igneous, who uses they, them pronouns. They're a Heartsong junk mage, and what do they think? Oh, I've played too many games, sorry. But they see symbols and dreams, and they follow those symbols. They know that there are gods, and they're around, but they usually they're not very respectful of those gods. Well, maybe to their face, but not in their heart. Yeah, and I think I have an idea. And I've changed something from last time. I have acquired another action, I think they're called, and I've chosen the Fire of the Red King because that seems to be on point.
Excellent. Jim next, if possible.
Hey, yeah, I am Jim Crocker. Folks that know me from outside the Gauntlet, where I run and play in a whole lot of these games, may know me because I am a retailer of indie story games like the kind you see behind my head here in my office. I normally sell them at conventions, but there's not a lot of that going on right now. So I'm just playing a lot more games. If you want to find out what I'm doing, I'm on Twitter at JimLikesGames, and I've got a website, JimLikesGames.com, where you can check out all the stuff I'm doing if you want to buy a game or two to help tide me over in between now and whenever the next convention happens. That's how you do it. I am playing Hagfangs. To the extent that anybody would think to use a human pronoun to refer to her, they would use her, she, her. But Hagfangs is a gnoll witch. So think like about 5 foot tall, hyena, like humanoid hyena hybrid. Kind of can go about 3 steps on her back legs before she's got to kind of, fall down onto her front paws and then sort of kip herself back up, kind of lopes along like that. And she has a connection to the heart that we're gonna, that allows her to alter her form. The form she walks around that people see her in is not her true form. And the way I think of it is like that is not how the heart sees her. Like when she's walking around, that's how people see her. But when she adopts her true form, that is how the heart knows her. And people can get like freaked out when they see that for obvious reasons that, that will make sense, I think, as we play along. But she's got all kinds of cool witchy powers. She can, the most recent of which is I added the ability for her to, go around stealthily and unseen if that is what she wishes, including when she adopts her true form. So normally when she's in her true form, all she can do is rip stuff apart, easily. But by taking this most recent ability, it adds sneak. Sneak and evade are no longer considered risky for her when she's in her true form. And like her spit can mend wounds and stuff like this. We had fun with me licking one of my fellow adventurers to heal them last time. That was a hoot. And so I'm looking forward to more of those kind of shenanigans as we go along here.
Excellent. And finally, Bethany, if you will.
Yep. Hi, I'm Bethany. They, them pronouns. I'm playing Kazmir, who is a Vermisian knight who he was kind of displeased some people, and they sent him off on an impossible mission with orders to not come back until he did it. So that's what he's doing now. But there's a carrot to go with the stick. If he does complete his mission, which is to map this unmappable, interdimensional, constantly shifting place, he gets to come back and they will acquire his soul for him, which he sold at some point and would very much like to have back.
Excellent. Very popular thing, having your soul. I understand. It's
yeah.
Right. Is anyone giving a brief recap of the session? Is anyone to jump on that, or shall I pick somebody? because it's always the thing I feel bad actually volunteering someone for that one.
I mean, man, the best recap of our last session is that dog sitting at the table while everything around it is on fire, and it's saying, "This is fine. Everything's fine." It is like if we're going to have a single GIF that was a recap of our session, I feel like it's that.
Yeah, except maybe the dog is Arcos and he's leaning against the wall. That is also in fire, and that might be a portal to get out of there, and everything actually is fine. So yeah, that sort of happened.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and it seemed like the fire had some kind of sentience, was alive, was an expression of the heart somehow. Like it wasn't just stuff burning down. It was, it was hungry and like it felt more like a disease, almost like a contagion, than than like a force of nature.
Well, it felt sentient, didn't it? Like it was a person almost that wanted to consume everything. And I think had we already decided to go looking for what was going on, or will we do that now?
I think where we left is in there was kind of like, you are presently in Sabine's Arcos's wonderful extra dimensional place where everyone's whispering quietly to avoid being crushed by stalactites. There's a lot of quiet gods like sort of waiting for these things. And you've been sort of waiting for several hours for the fire to die down, and it's that nose poking out. The fire, as I said, the fire isn't dying down. It's sort of the conversation became then, what are we going to do? So there's a kind of like, there's a general thing like you're sort of meant to be looking after these, it's your job to various different levels. So trying to work out what's going on is certainly there. But the idea might be like, these people are now refugees. Like, and the idea is if you can get them somewhere safe, that's probably a useful first step as well.
Yeah, my recollection was that last time we had kind of dragooned Drent into, performing whatever the ritual he has that allows us to travel, into a different nether realm, but that lets us go out someplace else, as opposed to this sort of whatever the Lehman's Tiny Hut, version that we're in, where we have to go out where we came in, that we can, travel interdimensionally to wherever it is that's going to take us.
I've momentarily forgotten the name of that, but it's basically it's a shadow dimension that runs alongside ours. Legend of Kain, I think, is the game that used to do that back in the day.
Yeah.
So basically, you've gone for this realm of that dimension to a completely different weird dimension, and like even for people who are living in the heart, which is like all these people, this is still weird for them. So you've led them through. At this point, this is when you lose Darren. Lose Drent, in terms of like Drent has got to go and make sure people are moving around and going through. So you're kind of left as a sort of a front guard.
Yeah, I think it's, according to his sheet, it's the Gray is what this is called. And it's that Enter the Gray ability that he's got that lets him.
So I think actually leaving Drent to sort of like ferry people. Devlin, who was the person who Arcos healed last time, who is kind of the hound looking after us, kind of grew up. And to be honest, really kind of grateful for you now in terms of that. Because we need to sort of find a route. Sorry.
Didn't one of the fire guys say something about going for Settlement X next?
Yes, there was a comment like it's going to go upwards, as in basically the fire is spreading. But at the same time, this just feels like a bigger problem that it would be good to get to the bottom of. Heart's not necessarily a world where people definitely do that, but it does sound like adventure for people like Hagbangs and interest, sort of like. But there is a relatively safe place nearby. The word "relatively" is the key thing. Is the down the pulse line? There is the there's the Temple of the Moon beneath, and the Moon beneath is actually none of you are heretics. Dark elf religion basically has three sorts of moon. And there's one of the moons, which is entirely illegal, and they end up becoming heretics down here, and they end up sort of worshipping the idea of the moon completely separate to the actual moon. Like the real moon's, like that's obviously nonsense. They're very much more Gnostic ideas, and there's a better moon that we can sort of imagine. And they'll probably look after people if you can get them there. That's probably and also it is kind of down as well, so it's kind of on the way to where you might want to be going anyway. So it would probably be the useful thing to just sort of just cutting them and you start just talking, you know. And the problem is you've got to find a way there. Now, to briefly sort of step into rules mode, the way Heart tends to work, well, it does work, is you have these havens, which are basically semi-safe places, and then you have delves between them. A delve is basically just a series of problems you face, and it's kind of rules-wise, it's dealt like a monster almost, as in it has a set resistance, and eventually by doing challenges, you'll overcome the resistance and get there. So that's kind of that's the place you're in, and this is the pulse lines, which are of course the Vermissian tunnels. You know, as in we're finally in the tunnels we're designed to. You do actually have and I'll sort of go into the actual fiction to sort of describe this. There's one choice you make when going through the delve, is there's also something called a connection. And the connection is basically something that makes the delve slightly harder to do. But if you do that, the delve becomes easier to do every other time you come here. So in that kind of like, especially Heart is the kind of game where you may end up going back and forth. So clearing the route out of the dungeon is kind of as important as the way in. So in this case, we're going, okay, the pulse tunnels are normally kind of safe. That's the thing you've got to think about them. I mean, as much as any Vermilion tunnels can be safe, because they are like abstract folding together dimensions, these are basically a normal route between here and the Temple of the Moon beneath. There is the second you kind of start reaching there, you realise there's a significant problem. And the significant problem is there's a lot of them on fire. It's like a slug, like there's a kind of a slug trail through it, and it's sort of some routes are closed off, some routes are open, and also it's kind of moving separate, so it's quite hard to predict. Finding a route's very difficult, but you know it's doable, and you can properly map it and lead these people through. But there is the kind of like think, okay, that we can just go through that way once. If you want to try to make the situation easy to deal with, you're pretty sure that there's the east of Devis, which is the town. There's a major underground lake. So if you can go all the way up there and unlock the vents, you can actually just send the water crashing down, and like maybe it'll put, you know, you're pretty sure it'll put it out, which makes it significantly easier between the two. Right. As I say, when we start the action, I kind of want to start with Casimir, who of course is the Vermissian knight. And I want you to like tell me how you sort of know which is the first tunnel to go down. Like, I want you to just give us the picture of you three sort of heading down there.
So like this mapping mission that I'm on is you know, obviously impossible, but I have not so much an accurate map of this, but a list of things to look for as signs that this is the correct tunnel to go down. It changes locations, but it always has these odd murals near the entrance. They're maybe not always of the same thing, but they're always there, and they're always the same shade of red.
Kieran, you're muted. Sorry.
I'm a very professional. Before we actually like turn to the dice at this point, the way it normally is we sort of like discuss okay, I want to try this. Then we work out what the systems, the roles, and then we do the roll and we take it away. In this case, it's like I just want to do a bit of character stuff first. Like we can sort of see Casimir kind of like trying to sort out these actual runes that will show you the safe way. Like Sabine, what does Arcos feel about the Vermissians in this way? Like, you know, how much do you trust them?
Trust is a weird word, right? I mean, trust, what does that actually mean? At this point, I'm satisfied to follow Casimir because they seem to know what they're doing. And because even if they don't, it might get interesting, right? They have never led Arcos to a very dull, boring, and humdrum place. So we will trust that.
Excellent. And what about Hagfangs?
I am not a big fan of the Vermissian Railroad, as we've established. What with, you know, They're being in part responsible for, blowing a tunnel through, the refugee camp that I used to live in up above. And so I have, and because of my whole kind of seeking adventure thing, I find so incredibly delicious the irony of helping a Vermissian knight in a mission that the Order wants him to fail at, that I cannot resist this, even if it might in some way help the Vermissians, like the extent to which it will vex and annoy and, plague their elders. If we succeed at this, I cannot help but like throw my full weight behind that lost cause.
Great. So everyone's sort of hanging behind Casimir as Casimir's going, looking at this kind of maps. It's like, okay, make the roll. The way this works is, I reckon this is, despite the fact it's magic-y, the fact it's Vermissian tunnels means it's sort of technology. And I would say it's discern, which is the thing. You would normally roll d4 to see how much if you succeed, it's like a d4 to work out, unless you've got some equipment. You have a mage light rig, I notice, and that sounds like something that actually it's a delve d6, which sounds like that's useful. It sounds like to me. So instead, if you succeed, you'll roll d6 because you've got the awesome light to help show us the way.
Okay.
But the dice pool being 1 for the fact we're just playing the game, 1 for discern if you have it, which you don't, and 1 for technology, which you do. So your basic dice pool before anything else is 2. Do you want to do anything else? As me looking up the rules quickly.
I don't know that I have anything else. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, 2 dice is fine.
Just quick questions. Wouldn't that be rather delve than discern?
In this particular case, I'm saying it's discern. As in, like, the thing is,
Okay.
the way delve is probably the one you're going to, like, following the route is probably going to be a delve. And the thing is, in this, we try to move the skills around quite a bit. So, instead of doing like 4 delve tests in a row, it's that kind of thing. Delve is probably the one we're going to use most, but it's not the one at this moment, I think. But good point. Okay. Bethany, Casimir, 2 dice. Ooh, dice roller. That's a good idea.
Roll for Your Party has this thing lately where it'll roll and it'll look like it's finished, and then one will suddenly change. So it changed from a 3 and a 1 to a 3 and a 9.
I do like the level of like, yeah, it's definitely okay.
And I got a 1 on the d6.
Wow. Right. That is a success, but you've got to go. So that's a clear success, but you're not enormously cutting into it.
Okay.
There's probably a question for you as you're sort of heading off. Are you going to try to go up to get the water, or are you just going to try to go straight to the temple? Like, you can probably all discuss this actually if you.
Good point. I think if enough of them are on fire and we can't see what's ahead on the one that we do take, it might be a good idea to just go ahead and dump the water first.
I am not enamored of water. Right at this moment, I'm trying to familiarize myself with fire. Actually, I'm sorry. It is probably not productive of me to say so, but this is what I feel. Look, my hand is still glimmering, and you can see the wounded hand, and there are certain like a bit of glowing ember in that hand. That looks pretty weird.
I wonder actually. This is probably now we've just mentioned the fact that Sabine's Arcos is now on fire. It's probably a good time to actually flash back and talk about this, because like the Red King must have come to you in this place of the old stone gods. I want to know, why does the Red King not trust this fire?
I think the Red King, it is not his fire. It is another. It is separate from him, and he doesn't trust that. I mean, he was the only true fire here in the deep, and now there's another. And I think the Red King wants to know what this is.
And how does the Red King appear to you? Is it like in your dreams? What do they? What are they like? I guess.
They're more like a feeling, actually. It's not like that you can see them, but you can feel the warmth when he sounds slightly male, so that's what Arcos chose to call him. But yeah, it's more a feeling of warmth and of heat and a crackling of this fire, like that. Then after you've heard it, you realize that had been words, that had been a sentence, that had been something said to you. But it's never when you hear it that you understand it. It's just a memory that it comes to you.
That is great. So sort of like you realize stuff in retrospect. And is this kind of you are now chosen of the Red King is a very grandiose term, but the Red King has definitely kind of gone, and you kind of definitely, as your kind of fingers come alight, you realize that this is just a different kind of fire, and the Red King is, well, professional jealousy is probably overstating the mark, but he's definitely none too happy about this. How dare I'm the fire deity down here? How okay, I'm the only fire deity who counts. We need to sort this out. I set people on fire. That's my thing. You're probably thinking about this, and one of the major advantages of being like on slightly on fire most of the time is that you need slightly less torches down here. So I imagine I think like Sabine's probably taken the lead. So you're sort of following Casimir's directions. So describe how you navigate the tunnels. Like what's the sort of way you approach things?
Is that to me? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I will trundle along the tunnels, and when Casimir makes these choking noises, I realize that I'm going wrong, and then I will change direction.
You're sort of like very leading us. I'm just trying to work like this is sort of finding your way sort of stuff. So it's like it's probably a Warren's. It's probably a Warren's Delve one. In fact, like, which of course is just one dice for you. But like, if Casimir wants to help, you can get another dice.
Please help.
Yeah, I'll help.
Thank you. I am very helpless because I'm mostly ambling about.
Hold, says Hagfangs, kind of holding up one of those, like weird fingers with an extra knuckle on it and a ragged claw. And I walk over and I dip my claw into my, my tongue comes out and I kind of slather my claw tip on it. And, on the nice wall of the clean wall of the tunnel, I draw in my spit, a kind of vague outline of a heart. And then I just bisect it to indicate the 4 chambers. And as that final line goes across, there's a kind of I think it's the edges of it start to seep and it starts to bleed a little bit. And this is I am going to be using my Crucible. No, not Crucible. This is Ascendancy. This is my major ability. So I know the secret of singing the city beneath into different shapes. I can roll Compel plus Occult to cast this spell and draw the heart itself into the area around us. The area I'm in gains the occult domain and reacts appropriately. Magic circles blossom on the floor and thrum with dark power, mist floods the air, and so on. It lasts until the end of our current situation, and I took a minor ability called Bypass so that the first time I cast this, we get a boon as well, a D6 boon.
That's nice. Like normally situations mean like a specific encounter. So it's okay. This will probably be just the route. Present,
totally cool.
Which is still cool. Everything. That kind of meaty pentagrams might be a good way of describing it. Bubbling out the walls, and it's kind of like who finds it as I say, Hagfangs finds it comforting. Does anyone else find it comforting? Like Casimir.
Not so much comforting as expected. Like
much better.
This place is weird and making it weirder, I think just
It's just the kind of day you're having.
yeah, you know, I mean, I don't think I'm upset by this at all. I don't think I'm comforted by it. It's just like, oh, okay, shift into even weirder mode. Got it.
But I'm pretty sure that like I know Arcos has access to that occult domain.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping that you know,
I
this
do.
makes it easier for Arcos to find his way around, because then he's
Oh, okay.
got
That's
I would
cool.
say Marco's suddenly the route's much clearer because hearts, you know, the heart song in your head is now like really loud, and like everything is much, you know, things are definitely much easier to do now.
Oh yeah, it's far easier to see the symbols and what way to take actually. Are we still going for the lake? I have not quite understood that yet. I will let Casimir guide my general direction, the destination, the direction I will take, where I will go. So
You don't need to make the decision quite yet, as in you get a little bit further and then decide actually we're going to go for it. So
okay, so do I roll then with 3 dice? One for
yes,
Casimir
like
and
if Casimir still wants to help, yes.
still please. Okay, then I will re-roll these. And I've got an 8.
You roll d4. To see how far you go, you roll d4 plus the boon.
Oh.
In other words, you roll d4 plus a d6. So this is like really like magical.
Oh wow! I want a d6. I need a d6. Come here.
At least I think that's how boons work, and it's certainly how I'm going to play them.
Why are you golden? Oh, I've got a yellow one. Wow. Okay. I've got 4 in total. 3 and 1. And the d6 is the wrong color.
It's going really well. Like you're sort of moving around, like you're sort of trying to map it as best you can. You're heading ahead. You're heading down the tunnels. Eventually, the kind of blossoms start fading. I was about to say, there's one thing that thinks, oh, Chris, why are you? What's the one thing you're worried about? The fact that the heart has been brought here. What's the thing you're worried about?
I think the thing I'm slightly worried about is that we might draw too much attention. I mean, there is this fire person, the Lighthausfrau. Who is she? What does she want? And do we need? I feel like we need to know more about her before she knows more about us. So that worries me a bit because we are not very secretive. I mean, by my nature, I am not, and I think neither are the Lemisian Knights. I mean, the witch might be. There are lots of unexpected things about her. I suspect she has many secrets. It's very interesting.
So just mechanically, I just want to. I'm actually supposed to make a roll to make that happen.
Oh,
which I think we kind of skated over there.
I wasn't aware of that. Do you want to make the roll now?
Yeah, sure. It's you know, it's occult. It's compel plus occult, both of which I have. So I'm gonna be rolling 3 dice.
Nice.
But let's see how that goes, just in case there's some kind of complication or whatever for it. Yeah, I got an 8 there, so that should do the trick, I imagine.
That's sweet. And we've already included the d6, so everything is fine there.
Yeah.
I would say you reckon you're about halfway there, so you probably need to start thinking about ways this is going to go, because you've hit like an area of smoke drifting up. Is that kind of if you want to imagine the tunnels, the like grills. They've got a tunnel beneath you, and that one's on fire, and this one's kind of creeping up, and it's kind of it's thick and it's choking, and like to go straight through, it's obviously going to be hard to breathe through and get through to work out a way. But there might be another way around if you go back. I mean, Bethany, in terms of Casimir being down here, it's like how you know you're meant to map these tunnels. That's your job, or rather, that's your impossible mission. Like, how are you feeling like being lost in here again? I guess. And like, do you express that to everyone around you in that way somehow?
I'm trying to remember where, you know, okay, so this tunnel, it's not so much the tunnels change, I think, more like in the middle than at the ends. Like the ends will kind of reliably get you more or less in the general direction you want to go, but the middle, who knows? So I'm like trying to put them together. Okay, like if we go up, that gets us to this other tunnel, which I think goes this. Yeah, no, I think it goes back the way we came. If we go down, well, that one's on fire, so it doesn't matter. And I'm trying very frantically to think of alternate routes around this like smoke-filled, possibly on fire tunnel.
That seems legit. That sounds like you're sort of thinking about so just like I'm still it's the interesting part of the system that you sort of look and think, okay, what did this work?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it is once more I guess this is actually technology delve again. Like actually not again, this is the first time. So it's like this is you and your element remembering stuff. I'd say while we set up the dice, I'd like Hagfangs to think, has Casimir ever got you lost in the tunnel before?
Oh, yes, plenty of times. But like the way Casimir's, so I enjoy Casimir's company because he is so ill-served by fortune that inevitably we end up somewhere far more interesting, if more dangerous, you know, if more perilous than where we intended to go. So like any trip with him is like not, is he gonna lead us to the right place, but what you know, what adventures are we going to get into when he gets us lost? And you know, and I'm kind of like, and while he's like, oh my god, I don't know, and like scratching his chin and whatever, and like consulting mental maps and everything, I'm kind of like looking down corridors that are on fire and stuff like that, and kind of, what's down there? I wonder.
What terrible thing will
know,
happen to us?
I look at, you know, and I sort of saunter up to Casimir, and I'm like, which way? It reeks down here. I want to be rid of this place.
It's like there's such an enormous amount of faith here. Casimir, you're at the front, and of course I've just realised it's possible that you could roll well enough to actually complete the delve here. So you've probably got this moment. So are you going to take the route that you think takes you to the water area to drop it, or do you want to take the route which just takes you to the Temple of the Moon?
I think let's just get through here as fast as possible and go straight to the Temple of the Moon.
That seems good.
And I rolled 6.
That means you've got. That means there is a success as a cost. I'm going to roll D4 stress for you because that's the stress there is. Sorry, I'm using real dice because I'm lazy. That's okay.
It's all good.
And I'm going to take that on. It was Hagfangs who's got the mission that you want to suffer major fallout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you Casimir like fortune fallout in terms of like it's just quite stressful trying to go through here, and anything can go wrong at any time. So something, just the look of it. I roll 3. So you suffer 3 stress, and now I roll to see if you suffer fallout. What are the chances of that? Like 1 in 4, I guess. No, you don't suffer fallout. You're on 3 stress. So if you have any fortune armor, you would take that off for you, obviously.
I don't think I do. No.
Oh, you've got 5 stress. Sorry, I failed to notice that.
Oh yeah. I already had stress from blood.
All right, no, sorry, I apologize. Yes, you take stress. So you take fallout. Something goes wrong. What could possibly go wrong? Therefore, you've got to look at. I'm going to give you the thing in trouble.
Fair.
The trouble is basically you upset an important figure in this or nearby haven, immediate, ongoing, and it's the and you'll get that in a minute. But that will happen quite quickly. What did you roll again? Sorry, you have to roll your success. Roll your d6 because you're going through the tunnels.
Yeah, 5.
5. Well done. You're heading for the tunnels, and I mean, basically, there's so much smoke drifting up. There's a lot of going through, and eventually you've got a tunnel you like. You're through here, and suddenly you open up into the Temple of the Moon Beneath. The Temple of the Moon Beneath is, they've kind of had a process. They've got the idea that the moon is opalescent and this pure white thing in the sky. So the Temple of the Moon Beneath is, they've cut this entire bowl underwater, an enormous sort of dome, and they've covered it in enamel, teeth enamel mainly, occasionally polished bone, and the whole thing is just like this above them. And they kind of have these braziers, which they kind of burn stuff that gives a very pure light. So the whole thing's very bright, and all the people of the moon beneath wear these white robes and lots of bone staffs, and generally big eyes, because these people are on a lot of drugs. That's an important thing to realise. You don't think you can see an immaterial moon unless there is a degree of enhancement happening. Right, you arrive in dusty and splattering. Let me just look at her name. And you're kind of immediately sort of greeted by Whispers the Worm, Whispers the Worm is actually another one of the hounds. He is, how do I say? He's got all the hounds have got their sort of mystical badges, and so he's kind of got the element is officer class. He has a long moustache like this, and I'd say he's bald. Let's say he's very, very bald, but with an enormous extravagant facial hair, and he welcomes you. Well done, congratulations, brave. It's rare we see such bravery. People have found and made an incredibly safe route. We heard word for the whispering in the walls, gesturing at a wall which is covered in lips to his left. That you're on the way, and looks at Casimir. You are, a brave knight led the way. And I'm sure that everyone is safely going to follow you. Yes.
Well, those following us right now are relatively safe. Some of them had some minor injuries when back in the village, but I think they're all fine. I look around to make sure that they are.
Yeah, there's kind of there's been, how to phrase this, people have got through, but there's definitely some people got lost on the way a little, as in the fact that the route wasn't as safe. So there's a lot of people choking, and there's a slow dawning realization among this guy that wait, you didn't do that, and that he immediately stiffens in this kind of oh, you're one of those kinds of Amissian knights, he says. Well, I'm sure Sister Ariel would like to see you. Everyone starts settling down, and the actual various priests and monks of the moon kind of start coming and dealing with people and wrapping blankets around them. But Sister Ariel is, as you've heard, the person who is abstractly the head priestess here.
Yeah, and when the worm says that, takes that shot at Casimir, I kind of step up and I lean into where, he can smell my breath in his face. And I say, and you're one of those kind of hounds, but we're not going to hold it against you.
What? How dare you? This is outrageous. There's a lot of people with there's enough hounds here to guard the place, and that's suddenly interesting. This is more hounds than you'd perhaps expect here. And there's elements of tension going on there. It's quite interesting. What's happened? You kind of notice towards the edge in a variety of other places, there's barricades built up, and there's some of the barricades are smouldering slightly.
How goes the siege?
I believe Ariel is the person who will decide whether people are worthy enough to know things, and whether if you can know things, whether they're actually of any use to you. Immediately it's like the sort of the dislike is spreading. Arco's being the shortest at the back. Are you going to do anything?
I refrain from setting his mustache on fire, which is probably not very helpful at this point, but I'm really fighting the urge. Because, I mean, it would be so easy.
Fantastic. Is that kind of like he says?
Maybe I mutter this. It would be so easy. But I look at him and say, "Good sir, you have a fantastic mustache. It would be a very great shame if it were to burn."
They're slightly outrageous here. Like, okay, well, I'll take a step back. Actually, no, I won't yet. You're kind of told that if you want to actually speak to Sister Ariel, who is, of course, the important person here, there's a waiting chamber, where you can wait for her. We've got the hard cut to there, and then you can sort of talk about what next. Like, if you want to imagine the waiting room, these are sawn off bones of some enormous beast you can't even recognise. And sort of like, I must say, Hackfang's being an adventurer might be quite excited about the possibility.
Yeah. Yes, these are, and what it's so they're forming like benches to sit on or something like that.
Yeah,
or...
benches or stools. Like
okay. Yeah, so like when we come in, like I like drop down onto my knees and I'm like, I've got one of these things and I like turn it on its side and I kind of like a bump bump. I'm like, this is a vertebrae from something. This is a single vertebrae. Bump. And I then kind of, and I kind of like sit on it and put my paws, cross my paws across my lap, trying to look relatively dignified, like I'm a proper lady. That's a ratty shawl around my, I kind of pull my shawl around my shoulders.
You've certainly caught things bigger than that, haven't you?
Caught? No. Killed? Yes. Not caught.
You're right. That would be harder to keep one of these. Well, whatever this was, contained.
Sir Kazmaier, almost certainly this lady will be speaking with you. What do you know about these Moonies?
Good question. It's like, have you had much interest in religious orders?
No, I don't think I have.
I have, I believe.
Yeah.
I have this litanies of false power, but that, well, I mean, I get that's just so I gain the religion domain, but I've had interest in religious orders. They are all fake, of course, but interesting nonetheless.
That's great.
Like, is this a thing where we could just like make a can we make a check, like a discern plus religion to see what we know or something, or does the system work that way?
It could. I mean, it's more the sort of thing that's more like, would you be looking for? Like, this question is, what do you want from it?
Oh, okay.
Like, you tell me what you want, and then like work out. If it's not worth rolling for, I'll just tell you.
I think I think maybe know some of their customs or taboos. So we won't run afoul of them, or would if we wanted to.
Yeah, like, I mean, what is she going to want from us? What can we offer her that will get her to let us pass through here?
Yeah. Sister Ariel is, as far as like, Sister Ariel is, to be honest, how to phrase this, a good person. Like, this is in the heart. For like, I mean, there's all sorts of levels of good person, but like, she will genuinely. The fact that most of the people in the pleasure from would drown, that'll probably help a little. But there's a bit that the part of the church's tenets is communities. There's the 7 virtues of dark elves. So helping her she's somebody who might be on your side. Like, and she's probably somebody who'll more likely to try to talk you into stuff. She'll give you as much support as she's capable of giving.
But I mean,
there's one of it actually, to briefly talk rule stuff for a second. Havens are notable for having stuff there. As in, havens basically have each one just a series of things, and they have dice attached to them. So in other words, for example, this has Sister Griswold's clinic, which is blood D10, which means that if you have a resource of anything up to D10, you can use that to either heal stress or get rid of like an associated ailment. The only person with an ailment at the moment, I think, is Kazmaier. So if Kazmaier wanted to get rid of that particular ailment, and they could go to a fortune, like if you had a place that could deal with fortune fallout, you could go there, give the right item, and get rid of your problem, for example. And also, like, you can just sort of ask what's around, and I'll probably tell you as well. That's how these things work. They also, you can also just sell stuff as well. That's the other fun thing, which is kind of that. Sorry, where were we? Oh yeah, you're sitting in the waiting room. It's going on a long time. Like, there's just this kind of like stillness there as you sit there and kick your feet back and forth. I mean, at least you're not being chased by monsters through a weird Vermisian tunnel anymore, but it's still nothing's happening.
I just grin at Kazmaier and reach into, whatever my bag whatever bag I have, and I pull out my harmonica, and I just kind of go, because I want Kazmaier, because Kazmaier's got that armor, which when he kind of thumps on it makes like really wonderful percussion. So I kind of look at him like,
wow. Yeah.
Halffangs, do you want this thing you have to be louder?
And like I grin and I say, why didn't you tell me you could do that before?
Well, I never knew you had a thing like that, but I believe I can do. Let me look it over.
Casimir would not admit it, but he takes great joy in my playing. Many nights around campfires, we have composed little tunes.
Then let me make this a little bit louder and a little bit better. And I want to use Rust and Iron, which says gain the learn the following spell. Roll man plus the technology to improve a piece of equipment that has moving parts using a ritual that takes around half an hour. So yeah, I would like to improve this harmonica thing.
So I want to. So let me just time out just for a real quick sec. This is like, this doesn't have any stats associated with this. Is like just one of my items. So what would her casting that spell do to it?
I would say I would just follow the narrative on this one. In this kind of like, I would say, okay, this is abstractly not actually got a dice attached. It would actually go up to the lowest level of dice. If we're being, I imagine that's the rules.
Okay.
But like in narratively speaking, it's going to be hell of a loud.
Yeah, fantastic. Everybody's going to hear it.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the plan.
The bit I was just trying to look up at the moment is obviously Casimir has to delete the stress, and I was trying to work out, is it all your stress or just the one stress? I think it may be just one of your. It may just be your fortune stress, so that should go down to 0 again. But I will check that in the break. Okay, you like Arcos. I just want to know this. How do you actually customize a mouth organ?
Well, it has moving parts in a way that the wind is a moving part in this enterprise. So we will start there. We need to work with the wind, and we need to make the wind louder. And this is a magical spell that uses technology. So what I will do is I will attach small metal things that will burr a little, like so, and then these whirring things, they will harmonize when Hackfangs blows into it, and just will make the sound louder, amplify the sound. So cool. These whirring little fans that are now at the mouth, you blow at the top of this thing. Yeah, I'm using this because I'm terrible. You blow here, and then you have these little whirring fans down there, and they're making the noise louder, amplify the noise. Okay?
I love this.
That's perfect. I just love this. It's basically the opposite of a silencer.
Yes, exactly. Should I roll for it?
No, I don't think you do. I think this is I think this just feels like the right thing. Like, you've got the time, there's not stress. To be honest, this is weirdly a nice break. Like, it's been a bad, like, literally everything's on fire. Now you're chilling out with your friends. You've made an awesome thing. Hackfangs, what do you play?
Do I relieve stress as well, or is that different?
Does this actually relieve stress? Is this an ability that relieves stress?
Oh, no.
No. Like, I don't know. I was about to say, Casimir Bethany would delete Casimir's stress because they suffered fallout.
I have the men skill. Can
Oh,
my
you definitely look after each other.
can my playing be a thing that just like settles everybody down? Maybe even like speeds the blood through their veins a little bit. Can I use it as a basically as a focus to make a men check on my friends here?
Yes, the only person who's actually Sabine and Bethany are both suffering it.
Yeah.
So like I think there is like I would say emotionally speaking, like it's not going to heal the wounds probably, but it is going to like heal the spirits, which I think in this case might be helpful.
Okay.
Is it a particular song of your people though as well? Is it like or is it like a song you picked up?
Oh no, this is not a song of my people. This is gonna be what is this? This is like a drow thing that is like it's basically it's like a Johnny Cash story song, right?
Oh no.
You know, like about like a drow who had a master that never paid attention, and so he took and the master had a whole fleet of chariots, right? And he took one part from he stole one part from a different chariot, each night, and in the slum assembled a beautiful chariot that was built, one purloined piece at a time. And that's what that that's what I'm playing my harmonica to that song.
Definitely. Casimir, of course, is the only drow in the party at the moment. Does this stir up powerful feelings?
Yeah, this is memories of my childhood before everything went wrong and caused me to sell my soul. It's not really a time in my life that I think that much about because it's pleasant memories, but then it makes me sad that that everything from that time is gone. But listening to the song, I'm suddenly sort of taken back in time, and I start singing along with it.
That's great. I would say Hagfangs. Basically, make a mend roll. Mend Haven probably.
I don't have Haven, but my shawl has D6 Haven. So what does that mean as a is that a how do I use that if I'm going to use it?
Good question. I think it's not actually an item. Well, that's something you would sell.
Oh, that's my piece of equipment. Okay, got it.
Right, and you basically, I mentioned the kind of places, the shopping places, which you can ask what's here, and I'll tell you in a second. Okay. But you take that there and sell it for stuff. And to be honest, I'll mention this because I actively encourage you to remind me about this.
Yeah. In
that I should probably be giving out more treasure than I am. You should probably have found one bit of treasure on the journey there. So you haven't hit it but badly. But if I haven't given you anything, as far as this, is there anything interesting looking around? Is a question I encourage you to ask.
Yeah, sure. So I'm happy to hold off on my roll for you to tell us what the treasure we found on our journey through that tunnel was.
That is true. I mean, for who was leading the way?
Casimir, for sure.
Sabine. Okay, Sabine. There's an object.
Or Arcos, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sabine, Arcos. Of course, when everything went really weird and hearty, there's a sick and sort of screaming fruit. It's like a heart fruit. So imagine like a strawberry but made of blood. If you actually eat it, it also tastes like a strawberry though. It's very clean and pure, but it's pulp. It looks so horrible, but it's so crisp and clean. So this is kind of delicacy. So that is heart straw. What should we call that even? Fleshy strawberry. I
think it's a bloodberry, right?
Yeah. I was saying goreberry. That's also.
Oh, goreberry.
Goreberry.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah.
Okay. Goreberry is great.
Sabine, it is. Arcos found goreberry, which is D6. D6. Is it heart? D6 echo. Sorry.
Cool. I can probably do something with it. I don't know what, but I like it.
Yes, you can probably check out the shops in a minute in that way.
Cool.
What we're going to do now is quickly do a men roll. on Casimir. Both Casimir and Arcos have both suffered blood stress.
I got a 9.
Oh wow, great! In which case, that means you do it with no problems. You would roll d4.
Oh, okay. So now we're in a haven here. My shawl has D6 haven. Could I use that to roll a D6 instead? Is that how that works?
No, basically,
No. Okay.
Basically, the d6 is about its value. So the word.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So like you take that and you sell it the d6 worth.
So I would need an ability to bump that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Got it. Cool. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me roll my D4 here. That's a 2.
That's great, and that's actually enough to make Casimir feel great again. It resonates through you in that way. Sabine's still hurt, but Arcos is still hurt. But like there's nothing you can't handle. It's nothing serious. But you are making a lot of noise, and immediately someone comes in. It's an old lady. She's really old. She looks like there's elements of like dark elf desiccation to her, like she's almost a mummy, but it's the kind of she's held together by will, sternness, and desire to stare upon the true face of the moon. She walks on two walking sticks, so she's like a slow moving AT-AT. She goes, "What on earth are you doing? Why make that incredible noise? I mean that in every single way. It was both very not loud, and this is the place of worship, but that is the most rousing rendition of the Chariot Drow song I have ever heard. What the hell are you doing here? Who are you?"
We're here to help.
Right.
No, really, we are here to help.
Right. First thing you do, stop playing that noise. It's great, but very bracing. She speaks speaking slightly too loud. Her hearing is like not great. Is the best way of putting it.
It was a spell to summon you, and clearly it was effective.
Are you trying to charm me, young Gnoll? This is not the first time a Gnoll has actually tried to charm me, let me tell you.
It was not my intent, but if that is the outcome, then perhaps.
So why are 3 heavily armed delvers sitting in my entry chamber?
We were told that you were the one to speak to about traveling further down, finding out what this fire was, snuffing it so that it needn't concern you, that you don't have to worry that it might consume your moon.
The moon cannot be consumed by any earthly fire, no matter how magical. It is strange. She sort of thinks for a second. It was strange that you've been sitting here and I was not told you were here.
Well, hounds are hounds. I think on that we can agree.
Yes, that is a tautology, and I would not, even I'm not going to argue with that. Come this way, and she walks like through into her room.
And I like shrug at my 2 companions and like, let's go.
Yeah. Whatever works.
And Arcos says to Casimir, "Didn't she say that you were the ones they would speak to?"
Except she didn't say anything about.
Oh well, she seems to be
Whichever
Doing
of
pretty
us she speaks to. It's better than none of us.
Yeah, it's a case of like you would presume that the hounds just didn't tell them. So in other words, they've deliberately messed with you in this way.
Yeah.
But she sort of gathers in. As I say, there's one thing actually which is relevant to you, like Sabine for Arcos. Like your whispering the heart whispering is kind of like really kind of like insistent. It's like that low hiss in the back of your head. It's audible even over the feeling of the Lord of Fire. It's that kind of. It's almost as if how to phrase it. You know that feeling of something's on the tip of your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it's like something's on the tip of the heart's tongue, and it's trying to tell you something, and it just can't quite like express it somehow.
I think at that point I will. I mean, Hackfang seems to have this older lady well in hand, and Casimir can double up. So I will maybe try to distance myself a little. I mean, I won't start full on meditation right now because I have some basic ideas about dark elf etiquette. And they don't like that when you start meditating at them. So I won't. But I will try to I don't know. What do I have? What would be of use here? I mean, I have a vial of cursed ink, but drawing on the moon right now, that's, again, not diplomacy. Diplomacy, archers don't do that. Don't set anything on fire either. But I will try to figure out a way to wait. There are probably symbols here, and I will try to find out if they are changing. Symbols are always changing. If these changes tell me something, if I can figure out the message from that.
It definitely sounds like it's like you get like it's going to be a fairly big ritual, so you probably need to go and get equipment for it or some, you know, as in like it's that kind. And I want to have a really cool ritual shot. That's the main. The main.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can do a full-on ritual.
We could. I was going to say we're heading like we've got 20 minutes towards the end of the first. I'm going to have a break then, and I feel like almost a nice ritual to end this in the 90 minutes. End the session might be nice.
Then I will inform this dark elf lady that by now I feel that something is calling to me and that I need to perform a ritual. I hope she doesn't mind.
You're very short for a human.
I'm not very short for a human.
Oh, okay.
I'm the perfect size for a human being.
Perspective is very difficult down here. So I'm not, you know, it could be anything in that. Yeah, because she looks like she looks at you and nods as in your heart touched. Like
yes.
Beware its calling. Its calling is nothing compared to the true moon. Anyway, good luck. She like heads back into the room and sort of deals with Hagfangs. Have a seat. Would you like some like fungus juice? You just kind of eat a lot of fungus.
No, thank you.
No. Would you like a nice hunk of meat?
Has it been cooked?
No.
Yes, then thank you.
Excellent. Like we try to actually in the church we try to actually welcome like people of all types. If you've come let's be honest, if you've come this far beneath the ground, you're worthy of a welcome, which is our problem. The situation here, like there was these fire-breathing acolytes who tried to break in here, and we had to hire the hounds and bring them back. They're coming from, you know, they are, shall we say, not comforting, and we're trying to actually work out a way to actually prevent them. So I'm just sort of thinking. So I'm thinking of basically the paths. They appear to be like sleepwalkers. They have occasionally those who have been touched by a great religious power, and I believe if we find the right way, we can block their path and make sure they don't come any further from beneath the city. My feeling is we like the rat monks down in Stepwell. Stepwell is like in in tier 0. That's in tier 1, so it's further down, so it's a little bit of a journey. Like the rat monks in Stepwell, they have a lot of magic ruins. That's kind of what they do. Okay, what they do is she sort of smiles at herself. They kind of gnaw things and make magic ruins. That's the kind of like their dual kind of thing. She sort of gestures on her staff. What we need is some brave adventurers. She sort of says that with a slight smile to go down and try to get some stuff. And we will, you know, and we have sort of thumbs behind waving the bone staff. We have a lot of like we have a lot of expensive relics which could be possibly given to you, because this is, let's be honest, leans in life and death. You know, I saw one of these people catch fire, like and they just didn't stop burning.
Yes. Well, the moon will shine forever, but it would be a shame if there was no one to behold her glory. Indeed.
It's true. I'm glad you understand.
Moon fireproof worshippers, not so much.
Still, will you do this? Like, she offers. I think it's. I think she's offered all of you if you get back like a D10 treasure.
Just to be clear, are we to murder them all?
No, they're friendly.
Oh, I mean, so we are merely fetching something for you. Will they be expecting us?
No.
So we will be liberating this from them.
Yes. It's like in any how to phrase this. The moon provides, and the moon has provided you. I'm sure, like you have the liberty to use your own approach the situation as you see it with all your ingenuity?
Well, since the moon has provided us, it would be uncouth of us not to return the favor.
Excellent. She pulls out a revolver, spins the barrel, just considers it for a second, puts it back there. It's almost like she was just checking she still had it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right. Excellent. It's like, please make your prepare yourself as well as you can. Then, so the thing is, it's one we have no idea what this is. It's not the Red King. That's the one first we worked out. Like the Red King, you can, the thing about the Red King is you can make a deal with the Red King. The Red King just wants stuff. Whatever this is like something very, very different.
So just time out for a second as a player. What was that name that we heard? She
was the Lighthausfrau.
Lighthausfrau. So I say to the drow, we heard a name. Perhaps it will mean something to you. Lighthausfrau.
Pauses. Sort of shrugs. There's a lot of scrolls here, and some of them are even readable, and they haven't actually all gone. The ink hasn't ran. So you could maybe find something in there, but that's I'm sorry. Some of the sisters might be able to help you. The drows are mainly priestesses. I think that's right. I might be wrong there. I'll dig that up in a minute. Okay, please. And she ushers you out, waving one stick at you at a time. And sort of sits down, has a little sleep. But she seems very weirdly relaxed, a mix between high energy and just wanting to sleep. You find yourself outside with Arcos, and Arcos is. Says, I'm actually gonna tell you what is basically down here to give you an idea of places you might want to go and buy stuff.
Okay.
There's basically Sister Griswold's clinic, which is the Sister Griswold is the famously belligerent moon nun who is a big believer in trying to heal people by any means necessary. So hers is a blood D10 thing. There's a bar. One of the sergeants has opened a bar, but really it's just kind of a barracks, which is mind D6. So if you want to get drunk and forget your problems. There's the purification chamber, which is just kind of where there's a lot of chanting and trying to get rid of heart energy, which is echo D6. There's the altar of many mothers, which is a fortune D8, which is if you want to make a sacrifice. So if you wanted to try to get rid of that fallout, that'd be a good place, or get rid of fallout generally. And there's also the Gibeus Saint Market, which is basically how to phrase this? Of all the religions, the Moon Beneath is a very boisterous religion. It's not very austere. It's very much like life being lived. So there's a really busy market, which is D6. So basically, you could sell a lot. You could sell a lot of stuff there, or buy a lot of stuff there, or swap a lot of stuff there. So D6 is basically pretty good stuff. So if there's anything particular you were kind of looking for. Arcos is probably the best place. Ideally, what are you looking for your ritual?
What I'm looking for my ritual would be, I think, some sort of mirror or looking glass, something like that, something that focuses, a lens or mirror or something like that. I
would say you find yourself in the market and you're in a mirror shop, and some of these mirrors even show what's reflecting in them, which is rare in the heart. And it's the person behind it is a gnoll who a small gnoll with much smaller than Hagfangs, and who just kind of who's moving around quite skittishly, as in he clearly is really into the reflective, and he's wearing a jacket, and it's a jacket covered in shattered mirrors.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Thank you.
I have to do that at one point.
You can collect. You have to make them yourself. They're kind of like collectibles.
Yes, of course. I would not presume that anybody else could make one of these for me.
Not for any amount of money. I would do it for some money.
No, I have to do it myself. And otherwise it would reflect you and not me.
Cool.
And while you are obviously a lovely and charming individual, I do not feel that we know each other well enough.
Cool. And how can I help you today?
I am looking for some sort of lens or glass or mirror, something that will help me gaze deeper into the heart.
Oh, one of those kind of mirrors. Like he takes you to the back of the shop and pulls open like a series of like blankets, and some of them are looking like shrouds, and then unwraps in bandages, and reveals this genuinely genuinely pretty mirror. And it's quite pretty until you realise one thing, that it is its frame is made of frozen blood.
Mm. Oh, interesting. Yes, that seems very suitable.
Excellent. The way buying stuff works, as far as I can work out, is that basically you can either swap it for an item. So if you had a D, like let's say I want to have a D, I'm going to say this is a D8 mirror, which is pretty expensive.
Thought so.
Yeah, it's lovely. So you basically, if you gave, let's say if you gave a D6 item, you would reduce the stress cost in that way.
Mm-hmm.
However, you just buy it by taking that amount of stress to your supplies. If you want to haggle, you can make a roll, and if you succeed, you reduce the level of the cost by 1. That kind of stuff.
I don't know if I want. I would like to try to haggle just to see how it works.
Me too. That's like I mentioned it's like, who is it? Casimir or Hagfangs has the ability to jump in if stress is being taken.
That's me.
It's Casimir, yeah.
This is a weird way to use it, but I suspect it might even come into play here. I'm just like, I mentioned it because I'm interested in how that method works as well. Okay. Right. Compel. Right. You wouldn't be right. Basically, I would say this is compel. Actually, occult, because it is an occult item.
Yes.
So you've got I would say 2 dice unless anyone wants to help.
I'm fine. I can do this. I can haggle with this person. I feel we have a good rapport. Yeah, now I roll. Let's see what this sincerely rational Skylark says to that. Well, it says a 7.
7 is okay, I think. I think I think 7 is actually you just buy it for the price it is. So I'm going to roll D8 and see how much stress you take.
Oh.
It goes well. As in like you know.
Yeah.
Ow! It's really expensive. You take 5 stress to your
to fortune, I presume.
No, not fortune. Supplies.
Supplies. Okay.
It's like
I can use my ability for that. I think. With precision. Oh no, never mind. It's blood that I can.
All right. It's a shame. You dive in the way and let me pay for this.
I think it would be like, oh, I'll pay. You know, I would tell him that I would pay him back later, probably. But never mind. That's only blood.
It's a lot of money for this, but it's also beautiful, and it's calling for you and immediately feels perfect in your hands. I'm going to roll to see if you suffer fallout, and you've got 3 blood stress and 5 supply stress, so you're in a position of taking major fallout now, which is a problem. But then we'll go into how people help each other out.
Okay, cool.
But you're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. As in, like,
absolutely fine.
You see, it's weird. You've got exactly the right number of coins and bits of interesting baubles, and this weird kind of bit of string he's really into. But you've had to give up a lot of stuff. But you know, it was almost like you were like made to make this thing. We hard cut away with you holding your awesome like mirror. I say, okay, I think it's ritual. As I say, the one thing you can do is you can actually help each other by sharing each other's stress. So it's basically actually we're quite close to the break, so I might look up the rules and make sure I get them for that. But basically, if other people risk sharing, they basically make a supply roll, and if they succeed, they don't. You know, they actually your stress reduces and theirs doesn't increase. And if you do a mixed success, yours does increase, but you also give out your stress as well. I think that's how it works, which is quite fun. In this kind of like everyone trying to share their stuff without going broke.
Yeah, all of us in a circle, like you know, like putting dollar bills on the table, like reaching into our back pockets and stuff, throwing out handfuls of quarters and whatever. Yeah. Like time to pay for the picture, everybody.
Random bits of fungus we found in the tunnels, whatever.
I mean, I can also destroy the mirror. and sacrifice the mirror for the ritual to reduce my fallout from the ritual, and also because that's why I bought it.
It's beautiful. Like, okay, I think we should hard cut to the ritual now. Like, Sabine, where does Arco do it? Because basically, this is trying to communicate with the heart itself.
Somewhere where I first felt the call, I think.
Okay.
Because
like
well, when we came in, I realized at some point that there was this call from the heart, that there was something trying to communicate with me, and I will seek out that point of that where I felt that,
Cool.
and then I will shoo away any dark elves or hounds who linger, and then I will set up my ritual.
I believe you first heard it in the waiting room, so that's kind of like it's trying to clear out the waiting room sounds fun.
Yeah, I will ask Hackfangs to do it for me, because I need to concentrate on the ritual, and also because of
how do you encourage the dark elves to shoo away and leave you do a ritual?
You know what? Like what are they doing in there? They just chilling out?
It's also it's the waiting room, so it's much more. They could it's that kind of like it's much more like you could have the space, but the question is, what is actual Arco's going to do? Might be the kind of like.
Got it. Yeah. So like I kind of roll in there, and you know, and like I'll kind of sidle up to somebody. And I'll like I said, kind of we've established that like when I want to unsettle people, I just get in real close to them and they can smell, like raw meat on my breath and stuff like that and everything. And I say to them, I'm here awaiting the priestess. I've got some kind of rotting disease. Do you think she'll be able to help me? And I'll like open my mouth. I think it's on my tongue.
And like this is like you've got a weirdly nervous looking drow, as in like the drow clearly quite new down here. It's like they're not quite used to being the full Knoll experience close up, and they sort of speak. Okay, yeah, I'm sure everything will be fine, and then backs away, and like you have privacy.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll put in a good word for you with her.
Please do. Nice.
Yeah, I turned back and I'm like,
very well done. I am amazed by your powers of persuasion, my dear Hackfangs. And how do I go about this ritual thing?
I would say this is kind of communicating with the heart, and it's not. I must say, for me, it's like I don't think there's anything on your sheet. I think it's just kind of this is me feels like a narrative ritual to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
I would like I'd say you've got the space. Just describe what maybe we'll do. It might be like a mind or echo fallout. So it's probably like it's like a cult discern actually. So you've got 3 dice. You kind of this is like a connection with a god thing. So a cult discern would be my way of doing it.
Okay.
I'm not actually not a cult cursed. It would be because it's contacting the heart, and heart is cursed.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have curse, but that's fine. I still can opt to destroy a resource with the occult domain, right?
Yeah.
And I will, because this is perfect. Actually, what I will do, I will start out just to, yeah. What I want to do is to deepen the shadows, to create more, to make them darker, and I do this by just burning small leaves and stuff like that, just to have the ash, and create a deeper image of depth within the columns and everything. Well, then of course we will set up some candles, because candles are always fun, and you can't have a ritual without candles, really, can you? And then I will sit in the middle of this. I will cautiously reveal a bit of more of my face, which I usually don't, just so I can see better, and push the hat back a little so you can see a bit more of me, but not a lot really, because I'm shy, or for whatever reason. Maybe humans are like that. And then I will kind of stretch my fingers, the burnt ones and the unburnt ones, and then I will let some fire play around them and ask the Red King for help here, because I think this concerns him. And then I will look at the mirror, and I will start burning the blood, the frozen blood that is the frame of it. And in the dance of these flames, I will gaze into, and then I will try to let my mind, my consciousness, my awareness fall into these flames, into these images.
Make the roll. Let's see how it goes.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had to make a roll. I roll two dice, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I've got a 9.
Nice, perfect. I say, there's the smell of burning blood rises up among you, and suddenly it's like your body feels like it's pulsing. Like you feel the heavy the movement of the pulse, as if your pulse is the size of your limb. Like your entire body is throbbing, and it speaks to you through the like your heart is sort of palpitating, and it's palpitating so quickly, almost exploding in your chest, and it's got that high-pitched hum as it speaks to you. That's how the heart really kind of connects. What's your name?
I call myself Arcos.
Arcos Ignatius, chosen of heart. You come to me. I hear you, and you hear me. Do you know my name?
I do not. Will you tell me your name?
Yeah, you do know my name. What is my name? What immediately comes to mind?
Hummingbird.
I am the hummingbird, and you hear my wings beat inside you, and together we'll make a difference. I have a message. To pass on. The vampire who lurks in the corridors beneath. If you wish, you will bring it to them, and then the hummingbird sings its songs to you, telling you the secret, and only to be shared with those upper ears. And we'll come back to that, I think, if you actually meet the vampire to share it.
Okay.
Anyway, and that's a nice place to play. Like 10-minute break?
Yes. Cool.
Good. Right, I will see everyone at like 12 minutes past or whatever that is. This has been fun. Okay, Schmidt.
Cool. Bye.
Hey. Hello. Is everyone ready to dive back in again? Excellent. Is anything anyone wants to mention, or something they're thinking at this point? Just because we're like,
can you just clarify what the hummingbird said to me about the vampire and this thing?
The hummingbird has given you a message to take to the vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm explicitly, if you ever tell the vampire what the message is, I'm going to.
Okay.
You're allowed to make it up. It's going to be specifically, here's something you make up in that moment.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And you'll probably be inspired by whatever you see when you meet the vampire, I suspect. So it's like I'm putting that entirely in your hands.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. Yes. And that is, just to clarify again, that is this vampire that somebody had written down on there. The drow vampire Karzov. That's the one, right?
Yeah, it's
I forgot we gave him the name.
That was me.
Yes.
And
yeah.
It sank its fangs into the heart itself.
Yeah. And cannot die until it is truly exsanguinated, I believe. I forgot we gave him a name, though.
Okay, so we need to find this probably very charming and light-hearted person and give him a message from the hummingbird.
Cool. It's like, it's just like what you've been taught in terms of like where you've got to get to is Stepwell. And the Stepwell, the instructions you got given, Stepwell is basically down level 1, and you've got to go via Grip Station. Grip Station is one of the major intersections on the Vermilion system. So that's like where things are really quite intense. It's kind of like Casimir would know this. That's where Casimir was kind of based. Is that basically it was this amazing open area, but the problem being that if trains went up faster than 10 kilometers an hour, they were crushed by stalactites. So it was entirely pointless and messy. But it's an important Vermilion kind of base area. I think my most important jamming note, I need to remember how to actually say Vermisian. I just keep on like changing it every time. Anyway, so it's basically down to there because it's basically through a series of mines. As in, this was like a mining area, and there's some bits of tunnels left over from the Vermisians. But actually, and this is something Hagfangs would actually know, in that this is apparently the area where the vampire stalks. As in, it's kind of the most. There's a shorter thoroughfare, and the vampires apparently makes that route impassable. No one can get past that vampire. So that's the actually. If you do the next delve, is basically you go the longer route, or if you clear the route of the vampire, it will actually be the opening a route thing. That's basically the situation at the moment.
I do have a question.
Sure.
And I don't know whether this is something I could get by asking around, or maybe asking Kazmaier or something like that. But just as like as a player, I have this question. I think that like Hagfangs, after he left the priestess, there would be like, wait a minute. When she said rat priests, which is what I thought I heard her say, is that metaphorical, or are they are those priests who act like rats, or are they rats who are priests?
Yeah, the second one. They're rats that act like priests. I think. Is that already an established thing?
As far as I know, they are rats that act like priests. Now, what exactly that looks like, we don't know yet. But rats who look like priests. I must say, I've got some ideas. I mean, like,
so that being the case, I want to go to the market.
Yeah, okay, great. I was about to say, before we go off, this is definitely a good time for shopping, and also like doing something about Arco. You know, in terms of people who are stressed, which is mainly Arcos, it's probably a good thing. Oh, I meant to say, there is actually something left for you. There is actually when you actually obviously you burn the mirror, but the mirror actually when the blood then refroze in a different kind of shape. So the mirror's broken, but you've got this kind of abstract structure, and that's like blood sculpture D6. So in other words, you've lost one level of dice by using it this way, but you can still sell it.
Cool. Yes, yeah. I might do that. But that is a very pretty blood sculpture. Kazmaier, do you want to buy it?
No, I think you should keep hold of it. It's clearly meant for you.
Oh, well.
If you want to sell it, you can sell it at the market, and basically would roll D6, and that would take off your stress.
Oh, okay. Yes, that is an amazing idea, and I will clearly do so, because I feel very stressed at this point, and I would like to not be so very stressed anymore.
So and who do you sell it to? Who do you think's in the market for like blood sculpture?
I think it would be a drow, right? I mean, it sounds like something that some kind of maybe a new arrival, or somebody who's come from the surface, from Spire, who wants to fit in and who thinks that this is an object art that would make them stand out and that they could use as a conversation piece at parties with these moon drow who are clearly.
I would say hard cut to you selling it to the nun who was just, yeah, I'll buy the thing. I'm sure this will make me fit in. Thank you. So they're very into it.
Okay, and then I roll D6 and relieve as much stress as I roll. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. I think I've rolled a 4.
That's great. Full stress. That's great.
Okay, that's good. So I've got 1 left. That's okay-ish.
Okay. If you want, of course, like the only other stress left is blood on your blood stress, which could also you could quickly try to mend each other if you wanted to risk it, or you could just, if you sold something, you could just do exactly the same thing, because the church gives the sister Griselda's her thing. Like whatever dice object you give to them, they'll give you that amount of like stress thing.
Oh no, I have a witch of my own. I mean, I know a witch of my own. I don't have her, and she is probably, she will maybe help me if I ask her nicely, which I will. So Hagfangs, my fingers still hurt. Can you maybe do something? I do not.
Yeah, and you know, like I kind of like gently grip you by the wrist and just start, like, wrapping my tongue around your fingers one at a time.
That would be a bit weird maybe for you because these fingers are slightly burning, but your spittle is very hardy, I think. And,
yeah, I mean, like, are they on fire or are they just warm?
No, they are like a bit on, like maybe like the embers in a dying hearth.
Yeah, so I'm probably not gonna. So then this is probably more kind of slavering on them, like like just a big like wad of drool out the corner of my mouth.
I forget, how was that stress applied? It was the fire, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the fire. That's why, and so, I think that's what I used to contact the Red King actually. So
yes, if I can't cauterize those burns a little bit with my sticky, spit coming out of my, I'll just drool on them.
See what we can What's the point if you can't cauterize something with your spit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why play role-playing games? Yeah, exactly.
I would say that's men. I also think I think I'd said it was a religion last time, so I would say this is probably still religion. In which case, it's 2 dice.
Yep, I got 2 dice. All right, let's see what we got here. 2d10. There's an 8.
Cool.
So that's a hit. Do we then roll to figure out how much gets knocked down, or does it all just go away because I succeeded in the check?
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just D4 unless you've got any extra healing equipment.
I do not.
I got the wrong tabs open on my browser, so I'm just trying to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
I do have healing equipment. Can I give it to him? I mean, I have men's supplies. D6 says.
Yeah, sure. That feels like, because that would. So and then if we use that, does that use it up, or is there does it roll supply stress?
Nope, that doesn't actually. As in, it doesn't use up. It's specifically you've got it as a.
Oh, it's a thing that you can do. Okay, got it. Cool. Yeah. So then I'll roll a d6 here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you want to imagine like our codes, it's like actually it's almost like the junk person from Labyrinth. I see that coat being.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Yes.
I say, in which case you're completely healed up by the healing power of saliva.
Amazing. I feel very honored.
And sticky. I was going to say, right, is anything anyone else wants to do? Anyone wants to talk to before town, trying to find other things?
Yes, I want to trade my shawl. I want to find a what do you call, like a rag picker or something, and trade them my shawl for some glass beads or whatever that I'm going to bring to the bat farmer that milks his bats to make bat cheese. So I want to get like a nice, hard, pungent wedge of bat cheese that I can tempt these rats that we are going to visit with.
That's fantastic. Give me like I want to roll to see what quality of bat cheese you get.
Sure. So so I guess first of all, my shawl that I'm trading is a D6 Haven, so that I can I guess I can trade that in at Havens. Yeah. Do I roll for that, or what am I?
I would roll for basically I'd roll a compel skill, so just basically 2 dice.
Oh, okay, got it.
If you get a success, you get you sell it for you'll get D8 cheese, and if you roll like a failure, you get D4 cheese, and if you just roll a mixed success, you'll get D6 cheese.
There we go. So let me see what we got.
The word cheese has lost all meaning.
This is like I was about to say that's my favorite sentence of the game so far. Was that like I'm gonna remember that as my as the high point of this game. So so 2d10 for my compel here as I haggle with him over that's a 10, yo.
Critical cheese.
Critical cheese, yeah. Nice. Yeah, particularly it's like a nice wedge. It's got a it's got that nice, like a nice brine rind to it and stuff. It's like just bat cheese should be just a little too salty, and he's really with that kind of aftertaste of fungus. And yeah, and like the little sample of it he gives me, I'm like, oh.
It's, as far as I can remember, from the rules, this should be a D10 cheese you now have. Which was, I can't believe I'm about to say this. That seems quite high. But you appear to have a D10 cheese. Let's go.
Fantastic. I will take it.
It's a free session game. I think we can just overpower the cheese in this game.
Okay, so I should. So I'm gonna erase my shawl, and I'm gonna say bat cheese.
Yeah.
D10.
Everyone's looking at you because it's basically like the image of this cheese. He sort of nods and like, okay. He takes you to the special vault, opens it up because specifically the rats can't get in here because the rats.
Oh yeah.
Rabble. So it's like a series of vaults, and then it opens up into this beautiful wedge. And he takes.
Oh, and like just like we see the green lines, wavy lines, kind of coming out of it. Yeah.
Don't breathe it in directly, for God's sake. Don't breathe it in directly. And he seals it into another container, small container, and passes it over.
Oh, and I'm looking at it. My hand's trembling because I want to eat it myself, but no, I will save it. I'll save it for the rats. This will blow their minds. Fantastic. So am I giving that any kind of a quality, or is it just bat cheese D10?
D10, Haven,
yeah, okay.
Religious. Give it like Haven and Religious.
There we go.
Oh, if we need to, I can sacrifice it.
Yeah, and this stuff is a delicacy in part because you got to milk a lot of bats to get any volume of cheese. So yeah, this is precious.
You got to catch the bats.
All I want to do now is to ask players questions about cheese and the best cheese they've eaten, and this will basically become like a cheesemongering game for the rest of the session. And I now want to write that game, Pungent World, if you will. Pungent World doesn't work. Anyway. I think are we ready to like delve, or is there anything else anyone wants to do?
Oh, I want to ask. I would ask Casimir if there is a way we could go there by train. I've never traveled by one of the trains, and I always wanted to.
Is that a thing we can do? Like, is that
like you could check the timetables? The train is unpredictable. Is the best way of putting it.
Yeah, so
like, you might be if you were delving and you got through that sort of tunnel system and you made some rolls. It's that kind of like that's the sort of thing I might get to there as an event, which would be quite cool. But like, I just say, where are we? There's train tunnels. I said, what's it called? The station you're trying to get to. You've got to pass through. You might be able to see something there. You reckon? I think that seems a reasonable enough expectation.
Right. Yeah. So explain, and you don't want to count on the train coming at any given time. It's better to just. It might be weeks. Who knows? It might be eternity. It's the train,
So when we say the train, it's as far as I'm aware, it's train singular. We're using the singular as in, and it's like there's one train left running on the system, which strictly speaking doesn't always have rails. So it's more like a kind of like Flying Dutchman kind of vibe to it.
Yep.
But who wouldn't want to see that, I think? Right. So we are like heading out and down these tunnels. I imagine people are probably like quite good spirits, actually. Things have gone quite well. And things are, as you head away from the arcs of the bone palaces, sweeping up, and you start becoming like tunnels, and like it's like fairly normal tunnels. That's actually like almost disturbing, and the fact that you're deeper than you were before, and it's this level of tunnel is immediately kind of puts you on edge. What's the word? There is. It's like probably the question to ask immediately is the thing kind of heads this way. So like there's a series of long passageways running down for this kind of failing mining system, and it's mining for all sorts of stuff because mining doesn't really happen very often anymore. And then there's the more direct route, which would lead to this vampire car-off. So I'm asking this sort of presuming I know the answer. It's like, are you going to go the vampire passageway?
I should imagine we would, because the hummingbird told me to give
Yeah.
them a message, and we can, of course, wander around in the tunnels, but that wouldn't be very conducive to meeting him.
I would say, Hagfangs, you're the person who's been talking most about trying to kill the Karloff, so you must have dreamed of this day, yeah?
It's Karzov with a Z.
Karzov, sorry.
And it's a drow vampire, so it's KAR apostrophe capital ZOV, because it's a drow vampire, because like that's drow naming conventions. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I like if I either kill him or have dinner with him.
Yeah. It's like Karzov's passage is kind of the famous route that no one can get through. So it's like
and we don't know why. We don't know that like necessarily he murders everyone that goes down there. Everybody is superstitious about these things. He may be entirely reasonable if we are reasonable with him.
That is entirely true. You're right. But say, in terms of like finding your way there, I'm sort of saying you must have sort of worked out, your rough idea how to get to Karzov's tunnel. Like,
Yes.
how it, in terms of what we see on screen, what are you doing?
Oh, let me see. Let me take a look at. Oh, you know what? I think it's a thing where, like, when we get to another tunnel, I do that thing where I kind of like I sort of drop down on all fours and I kind of, put my nose in the wind a little bit and maybe sniff the floor a little bit. Kind of squint, turn my head and squint. I don't necessarily know the way, but I can sense, like, if I look at these two tunnels, the one on the left is more sinister, more cursed, more malevolent. And I am just taking us in whatever direction feels progressively more, harrowing as I lead us there.
I would say,
yeah.
This sounds like my immediate thing, this is like a hunt. It definitely feels hunty, doesn't it? And
yeah,
then
I guess it kind of does. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I'm going to say cursed, as you say, because you use the word cursed.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the fact it's kind of hearty. Hearty is not a sinister word. If it's heart derived, that sounds right. So it'd be 1 dice is your current pool, as far as I can see. Oh, sorry, 2 dice.
2 dice, yeah, because I have cursed as a domain. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll 2 here. Let me clear my old ones. I got a 7.
Mixed success. I would roll. Okay, you're leading through the thing. I'm going to roll your fallout, which is D4 fallout. I'm going to play this to fortune because basically
that's what I'm shooting for. And yeah sorry, on a meta level, that's what I'm shooting for. But also, yeah, like I'm basically going, which way is probably going to get us in more trouble? And every time I choose that direction.
Yeah. So on the list of things to do, hunting vampire, trying to find the vampire famously no one has ever passed. Is like that's on the list. You actually take 4 stress. I roll the maximum, and I'll check if you've got fallout. And hopefully you're not, because you're trying to get major. Yep, you don't have fallout. But like immediately, if this is the movie, sinister music is playing. Every time you turn the corner, you got the kind. In fact, if you imagine, in like a TV show, they do like the minor key version of the song, like the Johnny Cash Drow ballad is now in a very like quiet as you're heading.
Yeah, I was playing it on a jaunty harmonica before, and now it's being played on like a church organ, right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's that kind of vibe. Everything's getting really dark now. Like this past race. Oh, you've also got to roll your delve, which is D4. So as in the delve result, because you succeeded.
Oh, sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's a 3.
Cool. Like you're heading through there, and the ominous goes, it's getting really dark in here now. As in, like the tunnels aren't doing anything. Bethany, Casimir is probably at the lead now, and that kind of, because you're the one with the light. Apart from Arcos could actually make light, but it's a very different sort of approach. Arcos, do you want to? Sorry, Casimir, how do you picture sort of finding your way through this like mining system? Because it's mostly abandoned, this bit of the mine is.
So I have a move that may or may not apply to this. Look at it again. Phantom lens. Gain the hunt skill. While you wear these lenses, you can track anything, even if it doesn't leave a tangible trail. Now, I could only track this if the vampire has been through here, or if something that I know is associated with the vampire has been through here.
That's interesting. I'll throw you something. Like you've got the kind of Robocop-y vibes here with those goggles on. You're looking around in the dark trying to pick, and you see a footprint, and it's a footprint of a Vermisian knight, and you recognise that shoe size exactly, because it's like the shoe size of the prints beneath, and it's like who's the person who like I forget that. I'm trying to think of a word that translates, because I've immediately got the dobbed you in, which is a British phrasing. Who's the person who basically accused you publicly and got you in the position of complete disgrace you are at the moment?
I think ratted you out is
ratted you out.
We're looking. Yeah.
That is Sigmar, who, I'm pretty sure that it was just to distract from whatever the hell he was up to. He was pretty shady.
That's great. It's just suddenly become the corrupt police drama. But yes, like he is here, and he's somebody who is famously trying to find. He's like aggressive in terms of like trying to find new things, and like trying to find a route through would be his thing. So like, and if he hasn't been seen in a while, he probably found the vampire.
Well, I haven't seen him for a while. It's not like I've been looking for him, because I never want to see the guy again. But are his feet unusually small or unusually large?
I would say unusually large, but it's much more the actual the multiple toes is the thing.
Oh, yeah. So like the front is way wider than.
Yeah, you would know that, especially because the arm is quite rare as well. So it's not like as many Vermisian knights. So big, wide, wedge-shaped feet, duck feet, even, as Arcos knows.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, duck feet in Vermisian armor. That's really distinctive. So I kind of pointed out to Hagfangs and kind of semi-gleefully start looking around for a corpse.
Who do does Arcos or Hagfangs know about this person? And if so, are you going to tell them? Or if not,
I'm not going to go into detail, but I know that guy. He'd be down here looking for a way through too.
Is he an ally? A friend of yours?
Wouldn't call him that.
Okay.
Was once upon a time, but no, not.
Do you want us to? I mean, do you? And I kind of, I lean in and I place a paw gently on Casimir's shoulder and I say, "Would you like us to murder him for you if we see him?"
I think the vampire is likely to have already done that.
Oh, well then. But just in case.
I'll see what he's up to first.
Fantastic. I would say, like, following, if you're essentially following, I would say it's probably hunt technology because it's, the knights, and hunt because, So that'll be 3 dice for you, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Excellent. I got a 9, a 2, and an 8.
9 is a success. You're great. In which case, just roll your D4. Actually, D6, because you have
D6.
your Delvey thing.
6.
My God, that's pretty good.
Oh, hey, while Kieran's writing stuff down, Bethany, I want to tell you, I noticed that you've got that collateral thing where you can shunt stress off to other characters, like friendly characters. If you ever take fortune stress, send it my way, because my thing is I'm trying to get major fortune fallout.
Okay.
That's one of my goals here. So
Oh, if I'd known that, I would have done it already. But my fortune stress is, I think, back down to 0. So
yeah.
You can send. Good point. You can send mine fallout my way. I can do stuff when I'm rattled.
okay,
So,
you can do the same with the blood my way. So we can just
excellent. Good.
That's fantastic. As you're getting close, you're following the footprints, and then the footprints disappear quite suddenly. And then you find the reason, and you kind of realize why. You kind of find like one of his feet just sitting there, like with the top of it just snapped off.
Well, guess he found something he was looking for. Would a vampire do this, or is that a different thing?
Could be. Like, I mean, to be honest, none of you have seen this vampire, so but it's like that's messy in that way. I was just say, Arcos, like, there's a lot of heart feelings. It's a big, the fact that it's a vampire. Like, there's a lot of heart energy sort of in your head, and it's kind of that pulse. So if you're going to try and locate the vampire from here, how would you go about it, or do you want to go about it? I guess.
How would I? I have an idea for some sort of ritual. Actually, again, I would like. I mean, vampires like blood, right? This is basically the thing about vampires. So, would it be maybe possible to argue that blood also likes vampires, and that we could maybe create something between the three of us? I have this gore berry. We maybe can use that to make something that will walk out and show us the way to the vampire.
He has the heart's blood in him. He's basically a big bag filled with heart's blood. The heart might know how to find it.
Well, that is true, but none of us are the hummingbird. We are people, and we need to find a strategy, and the strategy would be to follow the blood, because that calls to the vampire.
That sounds great. Like, you don't need to use the item, just blood alone will do it, I think. Like, I would say that is the great thing about, like, the magic in this world is very much soft. So if you make up a spell that sounds like something that a junk mage could do, yeah, we do that. So
Okay.
like you dropping blood and then the blood sort of trailing out in the right direction, sort of thing. I would say that is weirdly a discern cursed roll. Cursed because it's like vampire stuff. Discern because it's trying to like scry stuff.
Okay.
So, 2 dice for you, I think.
Okay. Let's see how that goes. Got a 6. Hey, maybe Casimir, you said something about that you're maybe better at bleeding than I am?
No.
I mean, you have dark elf blood. I have only human blood.
6 is a mixed success. You succeeded.
Yes,
so,
but I want to shift fallout.
I'm
Oh,
sorry?
you want to shift the fallout?
Or the stress, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stress. Sorry. I mean, I imagine that might be body stress.
No, I was going to do
because of the whole blood thing.
I would say just roll your delve roll, which is D4.
Oh, okay.
And I'll work out your stress.
Okay.
Your stress, by the way, is going to be mind stress I'm giving you.
Oh, nice.
The reason why is because I'm thinking about the psychic horror of what you're going to see, basically.
Oh, nice. I want to see the psychic horror. I'm into. I've rolled a 2, though.
You take 3 stress
Cool.
to your mind, though. Have you got any armor?
No, I have echo armor.
No, cool. In which case you're on 4, so I have to roll fallout. No fallout. Like, okay, you're following the blood, and like the blood trail, and it's just like Arcos is heading. If the big coach is dragging along, and the blood trail is pulling out, and it's like trying to find a way home. And just as it turns the corner, it shoots out. It just literally flies through the air to its target. And so you would imagine you turn down the corridor, and it's illuminated by the little flicker of light down your body, and you see this like 10 foot by 10 foot corridor is entirely blocked by a distended body, a distended slug-like body of a drow that's blown up. You can't. It's a tiny little face in the middle. This wall, and the entire body is pulsing with the heart blood inside it, and you have no idea how far it stretches back. It is sadly and solemnly chewing on the leg of Zigmar. Actually, and Zigmar is lying there, almost desiccated, next to this drow face. It's slowly like chewing and sadly it's like a baby suckling, I guess would be the image you want. Casmo see it, and the Zigmar's lost a lot of weight. He looks really pale. His eyes look like they're slightly crinkled even, but he's still alive, breathing. In the immortal words of the game, what do you do? I'm going to say, Arco saw this first, and it completely was like...
Yeah, wow. Tick vampire. Like, see, it didn't gross me out until I read that, and like, oh, okay, yeah, now I see. Yeah. What did we want to do with this guy again? Oh, we wanted to give him a message, right?
Yes, I have a message for him.
Yeah, I mean, but you've got a message for him, which you can deliver if you want. Initially, I just wrote Bethany Casimir has got one of the things ticked, which you're probably aware of.
Yeah.
I'll just write those actually for Jim as well. Hagfangs, that's naming it. This is currently called Karzov's passage. So if you clear this passage, you're in a position. So in other words, all your missions related to this, but there are various missions. And also, if you clear it, you actually make this whole thing safer for the actual game as well. So there's lots of reasons to clear it, but I have no idea how you're going to do it. It's like he's sitting there quietly and sadly suckling. He hasn't noticed you yet. He must be enjoying his meal. You can actually back around the corner and have a chat with each other if you want to work out what you want to do.
I will distract him, and you find a way to, I don't know, squash him.
Squash.
I mean, or poke him so stuff flows out of him.
I can poke him. That will work.
Yeah, you poke and you can, be at him. Hagfangs. I don't know. I think
he's full of heart blood.
Yes, and he should not be. He is destroying something that does not belong to him, and he's destroying himself in the process, which I feel he might be quite beyond the point of noticing. I will attempt, of course, to explain it to him in very reasonable tones, but I don't think he's in his right mind. Or do you have another idea what we should do? I mean, I can throw fire at him, but I'm not the Lighthausfrau. I am not that strong. Yeah.
I think the best thing I have against him is my sword, unless I want to shock him with spare capacitors and wires.
I think
sword versus taser, probably the sword is the way to go.
He doesn't seem he's awfully mobile.
True. Yeah, sure, we have to drain all of his blood to kill him, though. That's going to be difficult.
Burn it. Burn the blood. Burn it.
That would consume all of his blood. Yeah. Hey. All right. Got a solution.
Okay. I distract him. You let out the blood. I burn the blood. Okay.
Fantastic plan.
Simple. Easy.
I look for whatever happens. This the quietly suckling guy in there, and the heavy breathing of your not. Were you ever friends with this guy, by the way, or you always hated him?
No, I think it's more interesting if we were friends at some point. I was not expecting him to rat me out. Let's put it that way.
How dare he?
And I'm gonna walk back down the hall and pick up that armored boot, that foot in the armored duck boot there, and just kind of, I just have it in my hand.
Add to your sheet Vermisian boot with foot in it, D4.
You bet.
That is technology taboo. Taboo means that it's kind of a lot of people won't be into selling it or buying it. Actually, make that D6 actually, because the Vermisian armor is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, you could also use it, Casimir. You could also use that eventually to fix your own armor, right? Or to integrate it into your armor, because I remember that the knights did stuff like that. But as for now, I will approach the vampire quite blithely and say, "Good day." What was his name?
Karzov.
Karzov of the Karzov passage. Hello, can you see me? I bear a message to you from the hummingbird.
Karzov looks up sadly and slowly at you and sighs and kind of opens his mouth, dropping it to the floor. What?
The hummingbird has a message for you, Karzov. And the message is thus: at the beginning of the world, there was a little beating seed. And I will start telling a story, the story of how the hummingbird came to be, about how everything came to be. I'm trying to distract him.
Is it, by the way, it's worth knowing, is this a distraction or is it actually what the hummingbird told you? Just for the,
I'm working my way up there.
Oh,
What the hummingbird actually told me was probably something like, stop, 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 and slow down. But I will come to that. This is a way in my story at a point. But right now, I feel that he will hear me better if he is less obese.
Yes, I was about to say, you're spelling out the story. I reckon this sounds like a role because it definitely feels like something's at stake here. Namely, yeah. I would say it's definitely a compel role.
Yeah.
And in terms of the situation, I would say it's compel cursed, which is not the best for you, but still.
Can I use religion, because I'm starting out with the beginning of the world.
Yeah. The thing is, it's also, actually, let's go with that. I'm fine with that. It's also what the target is as well. So it's like,
okay.
That kind of compromise. I'm fine with rolling 2 dice. Roll 2 dice.
Okay, cool. Roll. Wow, I've got a 5. So that didn't go so well.
That didn't go so well, but it could be worse. Let me just Google some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a failure. Sorry, guys.
It's gonna happen.
I guess I'm not the social type.
Sorry. Okay, you're sort of talking, and it's nodding along, and it's nodding along, and then also it's like in a moment it just goes, very bored with this, and then the tongue darts out, and you see somehow imagine the sort of slow motion, this thing moving through the air, and you see that somehow his tongue has actually the 2 teeth has gravitated to it. So it's like a cobra's striking from his mouth in his desperate attack. The vampire's desperate hunger because he's been trapped here so long. His teeth now merge with his tongue, and it lashes out at you, and immediately sinks into you. I think it's D6 damage, so I'm going to say D6 blood damage. I reckon.
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair.
I'm going to roll for that, which is 4. So 4 blood damage. Is anyone a second there?
Well, on the one hand, I would like to stab him. On the other hand, I have this move where I can take the blood damage instead.
Do it.
It's not the kind of It's not the kind of turn sequence game. So it's this kind of we'll just follow it. So you can do that, and then we can
Okay. I would do it. as I'm like stepping in to stab him, you know, the tongue hits me instead, would make sense, right? Yes,
Yeah.
I would like to stab him.
Cool. How does the ability to block the thing happen?
Once per session, when an ally within arm's reach of you suffers blood fallout. Oh, blood fallout. Never mind. Not blood. I
Also,
should read these better.
We haven't rolled fallout yet, so it may actually happen.
Right.
So let me just roll it.
If you just suffer fallout, then I can take that.
So you're up to 8. So if I roll anything 8 or less, you suffer blood fallout. And you don't. Like, you've got you've got this thing immediately digging blood into you, and you just feel your blood starting to pump down the thing into the beast, and its kind of eyes kind of like roll up in its head a little in that kind of way. And there's a level of toxin. It's a feel like it's like bat-like, as in you can sort of feel a bit numbness there. So it's not great, but Casimir has stepped in heroically. What are you doing, Casimir?
I'm going to stab him with my sword because that's
Wait,
cut the tongue.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's an even better idea. I would like to like cut through the tongue with my sword.
That seems legit. As I say, this is, what do you reckon? This is what we call definitely a kill roll, and it's cursed. So this actually, the fact that it's actually a cursed monster would be 2 dice. However, it is basically risky.
Yeah.
In other words, sorry, as in this is a very powerful creature. So in other words, you have to remove the highest dice. Okay.
So roll 2 and remove the highest, right?
Yes.
All right. This is going to work out great. No problem at all. That actually is going to work out great with no problem at all because I rolled 2 10s.
The 10s are back. Well, I was wondering where they'd gone to. Great. That is pretty amazing. You step in and it's an awesome slash. Like, roll your damage for your what is your weapon?
It is a kill d6. Yeah.
Great. That's d6, but you rolled a critical, so you roll a d8.
Oh, okay. I can do that. No, not 2. 1. 3.
3. Oh, right. Okay, you managed to hack the tongue and it gets away. Because you've barely hurt it, though, you feel. And the tongue sort of snaps back. And then immediately you see it starting to grow new teeth. And you have to sort of drag like Arcos away a bit and having a moment to sort of take thing. But immediately it's already forming again on its thing. That barely hurt it. It sort of speaks, I have been trapped here for 100 years. I fed in the heart. And I started to swell. And I thought if I reached the surface, maybe the sun could kill me before. But no, I got trapped here. I've never, and it's the awful image of this Kring. He fed on the heart and he lurched all the way here trying to get to the sun to die. But no, he just filled the corridor and has now been trapped here ever since. So that's not good. I was about to say, you've just dragged Arcos around the corner. Hagfang, how are you feeling? It's like, is there any other tactic here?
Yeah. So I have that boot, and I've been like slathering spit on it, like so that's like just a sticky tarish, like just goop all around the toe, and like he says his lament. And I say to him, well, then the best solution would be to let us kill you. But either way, I am tired of hearing your voice. And just kind of, lope forward towards him, grab that boot that I've covered in sticky goop, and just like jam it into his mouth. To try and, stick it in there, get it stuck so he's, chewing on the boot, and let him work his tongue on that for a little while.
Sweet. Well, I would say the problem is definitely getting there. Evade is literally, this feels like literally what evade was made for.
Yeah, sure.
Evade cursed, I would say.
Yeah, so I'm going to be. Yeah, it's two. Oh, hang on. Except I don't get the skill. Yeah, okay, sure. Yep, evade cursed. So 2 dice.
Lose the highest as well.
Lose the highest, all right, okay. 2 7s.
That's not bad. I'll just roll its damage quickly. You dart forward, but a major. I think I'm lucky. Okay, I'll just roll your fallout before I start. You take 3 fallout. What's your total fallout?
Hang on.
You take 3 stress to luck. Actually, I'm in the mood for playing
to fortune. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. This will now be major fallout if you roll it.
Got it.
And it rolls 6.
There we go.
Fallout. And it's like, this feels like you're pushing luck. Like, do you want to describe how well things go? In terms of just describe this most heroically, whilst I look up exactly how things go bad for you.
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, I charge forward, and he is whining about how hard it is to be him, and as he says that last thing, he opens his mouth to draw another breath to tell us how much he misses the moon or some shit like that. And as he opens his mouth, just 2 hands over my head, bam, it's like he's getting kicked in the mouth, and just it jams right into his face, and we can see around the edges of his mouth, there's that sticky goo and stuff, and it's all yeah. So he's just chewing on a mouthful of Vermisian boot right now.
Right, this is great. So fortune fallouts are always interesting. There's immediately you pull back and he's definitely stunned. It's this kind of, he can't even eat there, so he's kind of disabled for a bit. Can you roll d6 stress damage as well?
Yeah, sure. That's a 4. What am I taking that to?
Just 4. Sorry, that's damage to it.
To it. Yeah, sure. Got it. Okay. That's our whatever, taking it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, cool. It's definitely stuck, and it's very difficult. It's chewing there, it's confused and angry, and you're kind of oh, I can't do that to you.
Well, I mean, what does fortune fallout look like?
Yeah, fortune fallout is all sorts of sort of things, and it's
so is this where I smugly take a step back, and then I'm not looking, and I just trip over his body and go flat on my ass?
Oh, no.
Is that a fortune kind of a thing?
What fortune fallout works? The one I was thinking about, because it's the most clear one, is you lose an item, as in it's something useful, but you just generally lose it.
I'm probably not getting that boot back. Is probably what's
the boot's definitely gone. Okay. Maybe when trying to get the stuff out and getting ready for it, you lost the cheese, and I can't do that to you.
Not the cheese. Well, I've got my carbine, my gun. That certainly could get messed up in this.
Yeah. Instead, I'm going to give something else, and it's you don't know what it is yet, but you will soon.
Yeah, sure.
There's a
lot for that.
Pure anger, and Arcos, who's sort of psychically more gifted than most of you, sort of is aware there's this been pulse of energy going out as if it's calling, as in you feel like you've been marked. But also, you can't tell you what by, because his mouth is full of boot.
Yeah, sure. So does that? So I took the fallout. So does that mean the stress goes away? Is
yes,
that how that works? Okay.
Also, you get to choose an ability if you
and I can do it immediately.
Yes. There's one thing at the moment, just to get the fiction. You're standing there, you're backing off, and you realise this guy has got hold. The guy who is desiccated, Zigmar, is holding onto your leg, begging, "Please help me! Please help me!"
Oh, okay.
What's everyone else up to? As I say, Arcos, your head is clearing a little.
Okay, that was unexpected. Now, I look at Casimir.
Well, I think he knows we're here now.
Oh,
Could somebody
I have an idea.
somebody light him on fire, please? Like we talked about?
Yeah, but the blood is still in him. But he doesn't move in this tunnel, right? And he's stuck. So there might be a way to get to him from the other side. Mightn't there? Was that not possible? I mean,
We'd
why?
need to know another way around.
I look at Casimir. You're the one who knows his way around here. Is that possible? I mean, I could try to light him on fire, but I don't know if that would do anything much. It is. I'm not I'm not the incandescence.
I'm just saying, like, if you like mechanically, like, you could try to like, you probably have kindling on you. You have your fire materials on you. So if you want to actually, it would take stress damage against your risk would be using stress damage. You know, as in the damage will be to supplies. As in if you wanted to try to use all the kind of like, we have a load of stuff to burn, let's burn it.
No, I have the magic for that. The spell causes your unarmed attacks to gain the ranged attack as you conjure flames on the clothing and bodies of those nearby. So
I mentioned, like, if you were just looking for a way in to actually get some more burning material,
okay.
You would use your supplies to do that.
Oh, right, I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could try
Going
that.
around is also a good plan. I'm just noting that it's an option available to you.
Mm-hmm. What about this this fellow there? Shouldn't we try to get him away from this monster?
I suppose so. God.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He's grabbing me by the leg here or something like that. So
Yeah. You know, going around from the other side is going to take time. Let's just puncture him.
Okay.
While his mouth is glued shut.
Okay, then go ahead. You're the one with the puncture thing.
I will do that.
You charge around so you're going to charge around the corner and just start hacking.
Yep.
This is good. Like, you're clearing a tunnel. This is very much the Vermilion Sage way.
Trying to puncture him and like let the blood flow out.
I would say this is cursed kill again, and it's also risky, despite the fact that it's relatively disabled. But I mean, the beauty of you charging around the corner in full armor with the lights on,
Yeah, I'm not being secretive or sneaky about this at all. Cursed kill. Okay.
Is there any way someone can help here on this roll?
Yeah, you could if you want to like charge in with Casimir, you could.
I could still light some stuff on fire just to give it nice optics, and light him the way and point him to where he should stick a sword or something like that.
Yeah, that's good. Like, you can certainly, in fact, you like, if you want to help, you probably have to like charge in as well, I guess, because it's like it's helping. Yeah. But so you both pointing around the corner and rolling 3 dice, taking the best 2 would be completely doable in the system.
Yes.
Is there a battle cry?
Not from me. Maybe Marcus.
No, I mean, this is you have maybe I can shout your name, because I mean you're the one with the sword.
I mean, I'm just being kind of businesslike about this, I think. Like,
okay, then I will murmur your name. Name. I was about to shout, and then I noticed that you weren't into shouting yourself, and so I don't know.
In which case, 3 dice, best 2, please.
Cool. All right. Man, it was nice there for a second. I had a 10 and 8, but now I have an 8, a 1, and a 4. So.
Ooh, that's not great. So you lose the best one because it's risky.
Right. So it's down to 1 and a 4.
Right. 4 is a failure. You fail and take stress. In which case, actually, what happens is you make sure you charge in and you start hacking, and you just the blades puncture in heroically, and then everything explodes out in searing, red hot heart blood exploding in your faces.
Yep.
I would say you're both taking echo damage. So I'm gonna roll echo damage now. 6 and 3. 3 on Sabine, 6 on Casimir. Sorry, 3 on Arcos, 6 on Casimir. Minus echo damage.
Yeah, so it's 2 on me because I seem to have some sort of armor against that.
Yeah.
But I'm still at 10 total for resistance thing.
Wow. I'm going to roll for that. And Casimir is on 6 echo. Right, I'll offer Casimir first. Right, Casimir gets echo damage, and Arcos probably is going to get echo damage. Arcos
Fallout.
also gets echo damage.
Fallout.
Yeah, so you've got to roll under 10 though, because it's the total of all damage.
Yeah. Do I have to do anything?
No, I'm just rolling. I'm going to give you. Sorry, it's weird. It's the weird thing the GM rolls for that. Here we are. Okay. Basically, you are covered in this red hot burning stuff. It's desperately. It's painful, weird. And when the blood kind of goes away, the heart has touched you. Like your body has changed in a significant way. Like I say, what do you both think? What weird mutation has actually hit you, which marks you as actually heart touched?
So, I mean, we're touched by all this blood. It's got to be something blood related, right?
Yeah. Maybe our blood changes color, and you can see that, or maybe not. I mean, you can see my body usually. Maybe it could be kind of a smell that we really smell like blood all the time. That could be a problem.
Oh, that could. I'm actually thinking, like, I'm a drow. I have like charcoal gray skin.
Yeah.
Normally, a drow with blood red skin would stand out a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So would a human.
You don't have to have the same thing, by the way, because the heart isn't that logical. In that kind of, if you're antlers poking from you like porcupines, like vampire teeth emerging from your skin like a pelt, and you're very much open to what awful disfigurement you would like, or awful and weirdness.
I kind of like just being like blood colored, like red blood.
Yeah, yours is Casimir's is great. Blood red is fantastic.
Okay, with me, it's only the eyes, but the eyes are just look like they're made of blood.
Oh wow! I'm afraid I'm gonna have to push that slightly higher because it's
there he is.
Made Fallout. Do you mind if I push it a little higher and make your eyes actually, or now not visible? You can see fine, but now blood is perpetually falling down your face.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yes.
Because the downside of this, apart from looking awesome, anytime you take blood fallout, you now roll. Whenever you mark stress to blood, you roll twice and pick the worst. So you're physically frailer until you get there. But like empty blood eyes, perpetually dripping, and bright red skin. This is really genuinely creepy. On the bright side, you've got around the corner and you've kind of you probably like pull back a bit as the blood kind of sort of carries around your ankles a little, and it just starts swilling out. Like, how to phrase this? It's like I said. It's like up to here on you. It's up on your above your ankles, and there's big vents in the side of it, and you can probably get inside it if you wanted.
Inside the vampire.
I played this trophy incursion.
I think I reluctantly dragged what's his name out of the way.
I wrote this trophy incursion.
Which trophy incursion is this, by the way?
The giant's carcass, I think.
I've yet to read that one. Awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's super creepy and fantastic. So yeah.
I was thinking this was going a little trophy suddenly at that moment. You're in front of the vampire with the open vent. His head is sort of hanging off one big flap of skin, looking with angry eyes. Inside you see the rib cage back, and the rib cage is just splayed randomly. Like it's not like, and the ribs are kind of quite small. And like pasta that's been rolled out, and there's stuff pulsing in there. Some of it might be hot. This is getting. It's like, all right, there's probably a way to kill it in there. Is there? Right. Do you want to talk to each other, work out a plan? But the person lying on the floor might be risking drowning. By the way, Casimir, because blood's everywhere.
Oh well. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll reluctantly drag him out, but if Hagfangs had something to do first.
Well, I mean, yeah, he was kind of like he was grabbing me by the ankle. And I think at this point he's light enough that probably right he can I can just so I just grab him by the I grab the back of his breastplate or whatever, right, and just kind of drag and I'm dragging him down the hall, and I say, "You fool, what did you bring to kill it with? Surely you must have something."
It's a great idea. He's kind of looking at you desperately, and he sort of pulls out what appears to be like a load of this very thin, very, very, very white powder. As in it's you won't recognize it, but Casimir would. This is kind of like an incendiary. So it's like a really white, hot phosphorus style incendiary, but magical. Like if you sort of something, you set it inside and set it off. But it's going to burn quite hot. It's probably best to get through there if you're trying to actually get to the other side. And
yeah, so so I drag him down, and I kind of lean him against the wall, and I say, "Don't go anywhere." Oh, I'll take that, and I just pluck it from him, and hold this up, and say, "Casimir, what can I do with this?"
Oh, we can start a very big, very hot fire.
Oh, well, all right then. And I think that I'll just huck it over to Casimir so that he can catch it and do whatever he's going to do with it.
Very, very big, very, very hot. We may want to get out of here first.
Has it moving parts?
It's powder.
Oh, okay. It doesn't. Okay, it's powder. Oh, powder. Cool. I probably can ignite it from over there.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. If anything can be, or if anyone could ignite something from a distance.
Yes, I can. I think. I mean, I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure I can.
So who's going to take the powder inside the beast and put it to something that might kill it?
I suppose that would be me, because
the person with the armor can do that.
Yes, exactly. With the armor. Yep.
Fantastic. So we've got the scene here. Casimir taking the stuff off. Arco's ready. Casimir going to try to find something that might kill it. I'm about to say, roll. Actually, you're gonna roll a pretty good, Paul. Roll hunt cursed, because it's you're trying to find the right thing that might kill it, and cursed because it's like a big old vampire. Arcos, if you want to assist, there's an extra dice as well, so it's 4 dice, but risky, so losing the highest.
Sure thing. Add 1 to that. Oh, that's oh no. I rolled a 10, and then I also rolled 2 2s and a 3.
Wow, dice are amazing. I was about to say, well, this is much more about how much other people lived and died than anything else. Oh yeah, you find somewhere and it goes up big. I was about to say, there's fire everywhere. Both of you are hit by D6. In fact, actually, Hagfangs probably isn't. Hagfangs is probably diving back. Everything explodes. It burns much hotter than you're expecting.
Hagfangs is going to kind of spin around the corner and do one of these and hold the armored knight in front of her and duck down behind his armor. So yeah.
Would it be okay if I took the minor ability? I mean, I have hit my beat. Could I have taken it already? You're muted.
Yeah, I think you can take it. I think you can take it right away. That's what we said before.
Okay, yes, you can. But if you're saying you hit the beat, you didn't actually deliver the message.
Oh, you're right.
As I say,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't, but I did a long ritual. And I named the heart, and
I'd say,
not.
Oh, you get one for the ritual, definitely. I was about to say, if you want to freeze frame for a moment before you've got this beast with his face like flips on the floor.
Oh, right, of
Throw the
course.
fire grenade in it and goes. You have a chance to give the final roll.
Yes, and that would be the way I help Casimir by looking at that vampire thing and tying it. Look, the hummingbird is far larger than you will ever be. This cannot end well for you. You must give it up. It is folly. You're too small, and you will never be big enough.
Ow.
I, however, might be one day.
Brilliant. You're saying this, and it would be incredibly badass if you just walk away with the explosion behind you. But it's the moment when you throw it, and the thing explodes, and it kind of just hits you as well.
Yes. Well,
you take another 3 blood stress, whilst Casimir takes 6 blood stress. In other words, 5 blood stress because you've got armor. Right. In which case, I'll roll that quickly.
The question is if I can have coin gold blood, I will gain protection 5 against stress mark 2 to flame or heat.
Sorry. Yes, you have that advance. You have the moment. You feel imagine the blessing hits you, and you feel the what does the Red King whisper in your ear just as the flame blast hits?
Probably something like, "You meant we."
Perfect. Casimir, however, takes 5 stress damage, but doesn't actually get hurt. So no fallout. The whole thing's on fire. And I like to picture you all just sort of stumbling out, holding each other, covered in little bits of dust. Like there's a general that level of chaos. And you step out into the other end of the tunnel, which is like about a mile away. And it's the opening into the junction. It's this the most beautiful Vermilion station you've seen. Well, it would be. Above you, these incredibly dangerous stalactites vibrating, and you sort of see bits of seers moving around very carefully in enormous padded boots. And they look up at Casimir in terms of like, she isn't meant to be here, and immediately there's not a friendly welcome. And we'll hard cut here and not end the session.